Gramping is the seventh episode of the second season of the Rugrats reboot, and this is a double feature. And while the narrative itself didn't necessarily need to be a double feature, it is building up to a really great scene, so I don't mind it too much. There will be spoilers as I discuss things that happen in this, and I have to say I enjoyed it more than I was expecting, but you do need to suspend disbelief in a couple of ways. In the first way is that Stu decides to go off into the woods. He and many of the other adults are actually off to this campsite trying to find Grandpa Lou in particular, who's in the middle of the woods writing a song with Brine, which was fair enough, but because Didi is very, very, very pregnant at this point, it seemed like a really irresponsible thing for Stu to be doing, especially when there were loads of other adults there and he wasn't the only person who could have gone off to find Grandpa. So, not his smartest decision. The other way you need to suspend disbelief is that the babies are wandering through the woods by themselves. So, a bunch of 1 and 2-year-olds are walking through the woods on their own. But if you can look past that, it's not too bad. What I really want to praise it for is that they could have made this an imaginative play episode and transformed the woods into, maybe a huge jungle or something. But they didn't. They kept it very much matter of fact, and that meant it appealed to me more than it perhaps could have done. The babies, while the grown-ups are hiking and trying to find Grandpa, the babies are trying to find Big Feet, as they call it, which is very cute. Angelica is actually trying to find marshmallows. The rest of them are trying to find Big Feet or Bigfoot, and it's not too bad. It's a sweet little adventure story, and it's very, very well animated. And there are some nice moments throughout, nothing too specific, but just in general, it's a fairly pleasant narrative, and I didn't expect it to be as good as it was. That's not to say it's my favourite episode, but based on the premise, I thought this setting isn't going to be my favourite, and obviously, there are various things where you definitely need to suspend disbelief, and they're not usually my favourite kind of episodes. But actually, everything worked really well here, and it was nice to have all of the babies and Angelica in one episode, as that doesn't happen that often, and it definitely is all of the babies, because they make it to the hospital in time for Dill being born. And I was really excited for this, not because I love Dill as a character necessarily, but because I was really keen to see what Dill would look like, because Tommy has a very funny shaped head. He does so in classic Rugrats, but he just seems to be more lumpy and bumpy in the reboot animation style. And I thought, well, Dill in the classic series is even more bumpy than Tommy. And that's the case here. He looks so squishy and wrinkly and very, very funny. And also adorable. And it's such a sweet scene where Tommy gets to meet Dill and he tells him that they're going to be brothers and best friends for life. And all of the other babies approach the bed and look up, and it's adorable. It's really, really sweet. So I am really, really keen to see what the narratives are going to be like going forward. Is it going to be very similar to the classic series? Are they going to explore similar topics, or are they going to try something different with Dill? I don't know, but I'm interested to find out. I genuinely expected Dill to be born at the end of this season, but there are a couple of episodes left, so I'm looking forward to finding out. I enjoyed Gramping a lot more than I expected, so all things considered, I'm pretty happy.